Where is the last speaker of our morning session. The topic is development of food forensic science for halal authentication. So now may I invite Professor Dr. Irwandi, Jaswir, International Institute for Halal Research and Training, International Islamic University, Malaysia, on the stage.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa ashabi rasulillah ajma'in. Thank you very much for the committee for inviting me to be here today and share with all of us in this hall the topic entitled recent development of food forensic science for halal authentication. I'm Irwandi Jaswir from International Institute for Halal Research and Training, International Islamic University, Malaysia. This is a very general overview that currently we are not talking about the specific halal aspect. This is entire halal ecosystem. And this is what Malaysia government especially try to emphasize all aspects in halal, from production, services, infrastructure, human capital, and any other innovative aspects in halal industry. Okay, I think I skip this because the previous speakers has mentioned about the ayah. And about a global halal industry with 2 billion Muslim population, it becoming and more attractive. Many countries nowadays, not only Muslim countries, but also non-Muslim, non-Islamic countries, non-Muslim countries such as Australia, New Zealand, Brazil, and Thailand in this region. And also like Japan, Korea, China, they go toward the halal industry. And this is the market size of halal industry. When we focus on food, we are focusing only less than quarter of the industry. The biggest portion goes to non-food, which include cosmetics, pharmaceutical products, and also services. Talking about the cosmetics, for example, in country like Korea, they have more than 1,300 companies, and the market share for the cosmetic from Korea is nowadays is more than 20%. And if they go into halal, we can expect in next very near future, the market share from Korean company might be 30% or 40% or half of the market share. Recently, in November last year, I was invited by Korean Cosmetic Association to give a talk on halal cosmetic in Indonesia, in Jakarta, organized by them. And then they brought about 300 company label, cosmetic label from Korea to Indonesia, and they tried to penetrate Indonesian market. And I was informed by the chairman of the association, they're going to penetrate any other Muslim countries now, the Malaysia, Brunei, and Middle East. This is to see how serious they are in looking the opportunity in the halal industry. Unfortunately, most of Muslim countries are nowadays consumers. We are not producers here, we are not manufacturers, we are lacking, and so that we do not enjoy the benefit of 3 trillion US dollars market share of the halal industry. Uh, this is just 2 months ago. I just come back from South Korea again. I was invited to the national building. Yeah, we call this Parliament building. This is a Parliament building in Seoul, and I was asked to talk about the halal animal products. Yeah, so the government of Korea thinking that if Australia can become a major producers of halal meat in the world, why not South Korea? So they think of that because they are also producing high quality meat. And then the meeting was attended by at least 15 members of parliament in Seoul, in National Building Assembly, National Assembly building. And then in total about 40 to 50 participants. And the following day I was invited to give a talk in Busan, the second biggest city in Korea, talking about halal hospitality, Muslim-friendly hospitality and tourism. And this university, Dong-A University, is among the biggest private university in Korea. They are offering program in halal Muslim-friendly hospitality and tourism already. So, and this president, he himself is very fluent in Arabic. So, even though he's non-Muslim, yeah, so this is what do you call this? A wake-up call for us as a Muslim country. So, issues in halal industry when we refer to the products. Number one is the materials, yeah, because of a lot of contamination, and because our life is exposed to mostly processed food. Yeah, Professor Mossad has mentioned the various ingredients or additive, including the newly developed ingredients and used in food industry. This is the concept. It must be halal, yeah, from A to Z, and every step in this processing is possible to be contaminated with non-halal contamination. So this is a few critical areas. First, raw materials, animal or plant origin. If it is from animal, it is more critical to us. Because first is the status of the animal, second is status of the slaughtering, whether it is slaughtered properly according to Islam or not. Then in terms of ingredient additive, as I mentioned by previous speakers, pig and byproduct is still the major concern to us. Gelatin with all types of application, yeah, from food, non-food, cosmetic, pharmaceutical, etc. Pharmaceutical, the hard capsule may contain up to 60% of gelatin. And it is a big issue for us, and we still exposed, we still dependent on non-halal, mostly non-halal gelatin. Okay, enzyme, rennet and pepsin, but there is a good thing, yeah, from our institute. We have successfully developed a new enzyme, recombinant bromelain, by our professor, one of our professors, and then it can replace rennin for the production of cheese. It is already in the market in Malaysia. So this kind of innovation should be encouraged, yeah, for all of us. And the emulsifiers, mono and diglyceride, etc., intoxicant, etc., blood, German. Okay, this is the three main issues: raw material processing and authentication. In this topic, we call this food forensic. Prof. already mentioned this just now, that all part of this animal has been commercially produced, commercially applied in industry, including hair. Yeah, from hair we can produce cysteine, a very important amino acid in the bakery products. Yeah. So what the challenge for us is how to develop a very reliable method for detection, or in this case we call this a food or halal food authentication. Various techniques have been developed in Malaysia, but mostly we're focusing on fats, protein and alcohol. Yeah, this is the three main issues. We may have a non-halal carbohydrate like sugars, but the one is more on the processing type. But in terms of the content of the materials, normally fats, protein and alcohol. Okay, and this is the R&D of halal authentication, starting from infrared spectroscopy, electronic NOS, DAC, and DNA analyzer, and chromatography techniques, and also this is for slaughtering. Yeah, this is a general EFTR spectrum based on the functional group, as you know. And then this is example at 960 something, and then we can get this the spectrum can be taken as the marker, yeah, for the concentration of lard. And using software, yeah, we can use we can differentiate, we can distinguish and group the spectrum into various, in this case this lamb, beef, yeah, and then cow, body fat, lamb body fat, and then there's a chicken, and we can see the different type of groupings. And then electronic NOS based on the volatile compound, and this is the spectrum, yeah. And then after that, just example, pork, chicken, beef, and mutton. And then in our university, we got a research grant, one group of researchers that trying to produce a device to replace, yeah, electronic NOS, the big machine of electronic NOS. The good things about this is simple. It can be handy, and then ordinary people can use it. Okay. This one is data from differential scanning calorimetry. This is based on the calorie, based on the exothermic, endothermic process. Okay, and then molecular technique, normally we use a PCR, normal PCR or RT-PCR. In this case, this example, this is a chicken, beef, and halal products, and then we have pork, and we can see the difference here. Yeah. Okay, the different concentration of non-halal, yeah, from DNA that we extract from the sample, and then we can see the trend here. Yeah. And then this is a fatty acid metal esters using gas chromatography. Okay, and then infrared spectroscopy, we have studied that not only applicable to food but also to other products. In this case, we use it for non-food as well. I think we have first is for leather. Yeah, even though leather, we can use a microscope to determine, yeah, the status of the leather, but using FTIR, the spectrum also different. Yeah, so this example of and then for gelatin from different type of animal, we can distinguish based on certain spectrum peak. I think this is a very theoretical behind the spectrum of infrared, that certain wave number can represent a functional group of compound. Yeah. Then, sorry, this is a study that we conduct to produce camel gelatin from hide and bone of camel. Yeah. So this is in order to to produce alternative halal ingredients. And it was conducted in collaboration with King Saud University in Saudi Arabia. Yeah. Then we also fat extracted from cheese. This is to authenticate the end products, and this is the spectrum. Okay, so mostly we do it through using infrared spectroscopy. I think this is just for those who are interested, we can share the spectrum. We have a database for certain products in our laboratory, for dairy products, for sweets, for chocolate products, etc. Okay, and then alcohol and khamar, we use GC TOF MS, yeah, GC TOF MS to differentiate industrial alcohol or ethanol compared to, this is khamar, red wine, cooking wine, and white wine. Actually, I think in the original slide you can see more clearer. Yeah. Okay, and gelatin for pharmaceutical. As I mentioned earlier, the gelatin is very super ingredients. Yeah, it can be used not only for food, but it's widely used in cosmetics and pharmaceuticals. And then this is the issue here, capsule. And then why? Because it got a lot of functional properties. And unfortunately, the porcine gelatin until now is still, according to the parameters in food science, porcine gelatin got the highest gel strength or bloom strength. So this is the reason why industry use that. But we had to come up with the alternative. Other common haram ingredient in cosmetic mostly is placenta. Yeah, for female. Yeah, normally cosmetic containing placenta is preferred because it is considered anti-aging. Yeah, no one like to be seen older. Yeah, so placenta. One day we visited a company in Hiroshima. The company produced high pressure processing machine. Very high pressure, up to 1,000 megapascal. Then when we apply any sample that we place into the machine, and then within few seconds, it can change into the nano size, a very, very small size. And then many cosmetic industry utilize this technology. One of the products that we saw at the time in Hiroshima is a placenta. Yeah? They use any placenta, and then we see, and it is mostly non-halal. Yeah, mostly non-halal. And then the label, cosmetic label, international cosmetic label, use this technology. Yeah, so it's something that very critical to us. Yeah, and then of course gelatin and collagen, and many products nowadays. Not only collagen and gelatin, but the product in between. Because the current technology, especially enzyme technology, we can now cut the molecule at any chain that we like. You want the size of molecule like this, and we can use the enzyme to cut it down. So that's why the product now, especially for supplement, yes, supplement, we can use not only collagen and gelatin, but also product in between. This is the reason why we have a lot. Yeah, in our university we conducted a lot of research on gelatin, and one of them recently we use this is nanoparticle. Yeah, production of gelatin nanoparticle. I think my students here doing PhD, he's going to present tomorrow specific on this. And the good things about the nanoparticle, it can easily absorb. It is used in our study. We use it to encapsulate salicylic acid, yeah, for the skin disease. Okay, we also conducted a study on carotenoid as a new halal alternative ingredients. And one of them is fucoxanthin from brown seaweed. This is underutilized or non-utilized seaweed. Most of the seaweed nowadays are from the group of green or red, yeah, not the brown. We focus on fucoxanthin because it contains various properties, yeah, antioxidant, anti-cancer, diabetic, anti-inflammatory, anti-obesity. This is we already thoroughly and comprehensively studied. Each characteristic we produce one PhD, yeah. So we already produce 4 PhD and this one masters, alhamdulillah from Thailand, yeah. And then the result is very good. In Japan now, fucoxanthin encapsulated and capsule has been sold in the pharmacy in Japan, yeah. Because from our study in Japan, in collaboration with Hokkaido University, taking fucoxanthin at certain dose can reduce or maintain body weight after taking for less than a month, yeah, 28 days. This is our study, yeah, this volunteer. So we are talking, educate people when we refer to the gelatin. And this is a pilot plant of gelatin in one of the university in Malaysia. This one in Bangi, yeah, visited. And that's it. What I have. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.